Hello everybody, my name is Danny, and for those of you that don't know me, I do a lot of YouTube videos. My YouTube videos have a big variety in content, so I like to take on a lot of different subjects. Sometimes I do video blogs, right? Sometimes I'll do a sporting event, a concert, whatever, right? Trying to keep the topics open. And yeah, so I just wanted to timestamp this video. So today is Tuesday, November 13, 2018. It's 10:35 p.m. here. And yeah, so I know I probably said it, but just in case, I just want to make sure that you know this. I'm located in Eastern Canada, and like I said, my name is Danny. So today's topic, I want to talk about, today's topic is chess, because just a little bit of background. I've sort of always been into chess, but I've sort of been coming and going from it. I learned how to play when I was just extremely young, probably in grade school with friends. That's probably how I learned. And so we used to play a lot in grade school, like during our breaks and recess and stuff. And from there on, you know, my family got a chess set, and I played it with my siblings. And then we played with neighbors and friends and stuff. And then later on, I played some tournaments in the school system, played some tournaments in the community, you know, won some tournaments, got kind of good at it, and yeah. Then after, you know, you get into other things, you play different sports, you get busy with school and stuff, and then you kind of get away from chess. But for some reason, especially the last few years, I've sort of become interested in it again. And maybe it's because of the convenience of the internet, you know, just it's easy to go on like YouTube and watch the pros play, or to watch videos that give out free tutorials, and there's a lot of chess journalism online and stuff. So it's easy to get kind of interested in it again. Which sort of builds up to now, because now what we have, a high-profile event is we have the World Chess Championship 2018, right? And so this is pretty much the pinnacle of chess competition, right? And so the reigning world champion right now is Magnus Carlsen. He's from Norway. And the challenger is Fabiano, sorry about the pronunciation, Fabiano Caruana, and he's from the USA. So basically, for those who don't know, this competition is basically the person who holds the title, once they hold the title, they don't have to keep recompeting for a place. They automatically get their spot into the next championship. And so the contender spot is a competition, and so it comes down to pretty much the last 8 or the top 8 battle it out, and that's why they call it a candidates tournament, because they're all candidates to figure out who's going to be the contender, right? And so, like I said, Caruana is the challenger, and Magnus Carlsen, he's been the world championship since 2013, right? So he's considered by many to be a prodigy, right? And just for those who don't know, I just like to educate people a little bit. So this competition is potentially 12 games. It's the first to reach 6.5 points. So there's 1 point given for a win and a half point given for a draw. Yeah, so I wanted to get into that a little bit of that tournament because it's very exciting. We're sort of right in the middle of it right now. Well, not really the middle, more towards the beginning. Game 1 was a draw. Game 2 was a draw. And I'm going to talk a little bit about Game 3, just give a little bit of insight into it. Yeah. So I have a little chessboard here. I know it's not the best chessboard, but it's just what I have for now. It's just convenient. Later on, if I were to do more chess videos, I would definitely get better chessboards and equipment and stuff. But for now, I think it'll do. So I'm going to go over my chessboard with you people and go over a little bit of Game 3, right? So I'm just going to go over the opening of Game 3, because in chess, opening is critical, if not everything, right? An opening determines basically how the rest of the game is going to be played out, right? So who's going to be defensive, who's going to be offensive, who's going to be disadvantaged into what areas or whatever, right? So trying to get you guys a decent I'm not that great at angles. Yeah. Well, that's not too bad, actually. Okay. Well, that's not too bad. Patience, bear with me. Okay, so for Game 3, I just want to make sure that I get this right here. Okay, in game 3, Fabiano was white. Just want to make sure. Yeah, Fabiano was white and Magnus was black. Okay, so let's go over a little bit about what happened in the opening. So Fabiano played e2 to e4. Magnus played c7 to c5. Fabiano played knight to f3. Carlsen played knight to c6. Fabiano played bishop to b5. Carlsen played g7 to g6. Caruana played bishop takes c6. Pawn takes the c6 pawn. Fabiano played d2 to d3. Carlsen played bishop to g7. And then Fabiano castles. Okay, so this is sort of a little interesting because I'm just trying to get rid of that glare here. Because this same opening was played in game 1. So this is where there's a deviation from game 1, right? So in game 1, Fabiano, instead of castling, he played his h2 pawn to h3, right? But the problem that he found with that in game 1 was that it was causing a lot of problems with Carlsen's pawns, like these files right here. And so those pawns were causing Fabiano a lot of problems in game 1. So he decided to skip those pawn head eggs on those files and just castle instead, right? And then here Carlsen does something a little different. He puts his queen to c7. So the analysts were very surprised by Carlsen's queen to c7 move, because that's a very unusual move. It's very odd. It doesn't happen very much with the higher level chess, because usually what you want to do is, development wise, you want to develop the more minor pieces first, like the knights or the bishops, right? And so you want to develop the queen a little later after those. So for Carlsen, if he had development in wise to develop his queen a little earlier, that was a little different. And so it was hard to figure out why he did that. I just also wanted to say that it's interesting because in today's modern chess era, players are said to have a whole arsenal of different openings and defenses that they play. Not like, in the beginning times of chess where it was someone could only play, a d4 or an e4, and that's all that they could play. However, even though they have an arsenal of different openings and such, you'll notice that we're talking about game 3, and the same opening has already been played twice in game 1, and also in game 3, right? So people are in chess, you tend to stick to the traditional lines really that work and make sense, right? Okay. And of course, that opening that I just showed you guys for for those who are still learning about chess, that's the Sicilian defense. It's the Rosolimo variation, right? I also wanted to just also comment a little further that today game 4 was played, and it was also a draw. So 4 games, 4 draws. And it's interesting because the analysts, I was watching some broadcasts, and they were asking the analysts, and these are like experts, you know, grandmasters and stuff, as to like what openings to expect for game 5 and on. And people were kind of predicting the Sicilian defense, the Rosolimo variation, which is, of course, as I just said, the same opening that's already been played twice, right? So it just confirms what I'm saying is that people do like to stick to the traditional openings or lines that sort of make sense or that have been proven to work. I also wanted to talk about a little bit more about this championship because again, when you watch broadcasts and stuff, people like to get insight and opinions from different people, especially people who know what they're talking about. So there was an interview with Garry Kasparov, and again, Garry Kasparov is actually one of my favorite chess players of all time because for me, before he had come onto the scene, chess was mostly dominated by Soviets, which he is, but it's sort of the same type of style. It's very similar, and when he came on, the world champion Anatoly Karpov, he had that world championship for 10 long years. And his style was very defensive, right? Where, you know, he won by just playing it completely, a lot of the times, a very defensive position and just waiting until you make stupid mistakes, right? So when Kasparov came on, he was so different from any other chess player, where he was very aggressive and very attacking. And, you know, he's very young and energetic, right? And he was also athletic in his personal life. And people would say, you know, he was handsome and so forth. So it was very exciting, right? When Kasparov came onto the scene and ended up being perhaps one of the best world champions and chess players of all time. So when he was asked about this this Fabiano Magnus championship and what his thoughts were, he basically said that Fabiano did have the potential to beat Carlsen, but it would mean that Fabiano would really have to be in his very absolute top form, right? And which he didn't see up to now in this tournament. And also Carlsen has a lot more experience in world championship tournaments too, right? And it's kind of similar where I saw an interview with Vladimir Kramnik, and he was the one who beat Kasparov for the world championship, and he said something very similar where you know, he noticed that Fabiano had been just making a lot of just really stupid moves, right? Right up to the tournament, the first 4 games, and he would really have to be really perfect. Fabiano would really have to be perfect in order to beat um, Carlsen, which he hasn't shown since this tournament, right? What else am I going to talk about? So I also wanted to talk about, again, like, I see this through the lens of sometimes as a chess fan or like an amateur or a player, right? But the clock that they're using for this championship, right? They're using the DGT3000, right? So I was very surprised when I noticed that they're using the DGT3000. Like, although it's advertised as the most advanced chess clock on the market, it's still a clock that's mostly made for just ordinary, hobbyist chess players, right? Club players, just local tournament players, right? I mean, for people who do know that clock, it's basically a plastic clock, right? Maybe a softer plastic clock. The plastic is, not the most durable or the strongest, right? As opposed to, let's say, for example, steel or metal, right? And so it's got a very amateurish feel to it. And, even the color, I mean, the color looks kind of cool, right? It's kind of cool to like play friends and have like a cool red color. But I would not think that you would want like a very bright red color clock onto something as a world championship, right? Which is more about like integrity and class and style, right? And objectiveness, right? So let's talk about that, because actually I'm kind of shopping for a chess clock right now. And so I've narrowed it down to a few, and so I just wanted to talk about that because chess clocks are become kind of interesting, right? Interesting yet kind of stupid at the same time, right? Because back before, when, in the beginning, when nobody used chess clocks at all, right? And then it was like hourglass with sand, maybe, stuff like that, and then just like normal clocks, normal analog clocks, just normal, the clocks that you see like on your wall and stuff. And then it eventually moved into like digital clocks. But the thing about digital clocks is that yes, it gives perhaps a more like accurate reading regarding maybe seconds, but it also opens up people to invent all of these different like rules and regulations with chess and stuff that I think are kind of stupid, right? Like when you're thinking like of increments and like adding seconds on to every single time that you make a move and stuff, it just becomes very complicated for a lot of people, right? And it gets kind of frustrating because you have these business people, these businessmen who don't care about chess. All they care about is making money, right? So they're going to exploit this by like, making these really expensive clocks and, making a model and then making like a part two, like in a few years, right? Who knows, like if they're withholding features, right? Just so that they can have features to put on to the next one. and then people will feel compelled to buy and spend money on the newest model because they think it's better, right? But the DGT3000, so that clock has been on the market from 2014 until now, and it replaced the DGT XL, right? So I've heard that, like through reviews and stuff, that a lot of people don't really like the DGT3000 because they don't like the craftsmanship, the plastic, or a lot of them feel like when you're playing Blitz, which is 5-minute chess, and you're basically you're hitting the clock very, very fast and very hard, right? So that light plastic will move around and stuff. And also too, with the 3000, a lot of people have difficulty with a lot of the settings too, right? Because DGT is a Dutch company, and so if you're playing in North America, which I am now, a lot of those settings, you'll have difficulty with all the settings on the DGT3000, right? So like I said, they're saying that the DGT3000 replaced the DGT XL. So the XL was it was in manufacturing from 2003 to 2014, right? And so that clock was FIDE approved. So FIDE is the international head regulators of chess, right? That XL, if you watch videos of the top Blitz players, right? Pretty much they're always, I've seen so many or most of them use the XL, right? But I think the problem for me with the XL is that I find that the XL is kind of an ugly clock, right? It's just a physically unappealing to look at clock, right? And then there was also the DGT2010. So that's been in fabrication from 2007 till now. And they're saying that that's the official chess clock of FIDE. But the DGT2010, that's actually I think it's one of my top picks. I mean, first impressions are important, and it just looks like a good clock, right? And even as aesthetically, how it looks and feels, and ergonomically how it would work, it just looks like a nice, smooth, well-crafted clock, right? And there's also the DGT North American, DGT North America. And so this clock was manufactured for the purpose of, like I said, for people who play chess in North America, because a lot of the tournaments, the regulations are very different from the European ones, right? So with this DGT North America, you can hit the settings for the rules that you want to play in Canada or the US, right? So that's definitely a top pick according to reviews also. So like I said, I'm in the process of buying one. I'm still learning. So if you guys are watching and you know something, or you have suggestions or advice, or you've bought some of these clocks before, or you're going to buy some, leave some comments under this video and let me know. I would really appreciate it. I just want to wrap up by sharing this um, kind of a funny story that I had. Kind of a funny story that I had because, so like I said, lately I've been more interested in chess, and the other night there was actually just I believe 2 nights ago. I'm just on my YouTube homepage, and and then just someone's chess channel just shows up with the thumbnail of a guy like in front of a chessboard, and then I click on it and I watch it, and then I went to his channel and I watched a lot of his videos because he's like he's an older guy, and he's making all these chess tutorial videos, right? And so he's using kind of those old-fashioned like cardboard, you know what I'm talking about, those cardboard kind of like teaching tools, right? He's also got an aluminum one, which is really nice, and I'm quite sure that he's made it himself, right? And I actually like those because now in these days where everything is taught and tutored through chess computers and stuff, I have a hard time connecting with those. So I kind of like the old-fashioned styles, but the thing about that is that they're not really used anymore, or they're used very, very rarely now. It's more just sort of that older generation of, you know, chess people, and they're becoming less and less of them, right? So you're seeing less and less of those types of aids, right? And and it's kind of interesting because like he'd stand in front of those boards, and the boards would be like in his backyard, right? And like, or like in the middle of what looked like a desert or something like that, like in the outside, which isn't really seen, right? And where he's got like a chess book, a traditional chess book, and he's reading it, and he's looking it up to make sure that he's, you know, teaching the right things, right? It's interesting because that's the way I learned chess, was through chess books, just traditional chess books, right? Where they had openings and theory and they taught everything and you just read it, right? And that's how traditionally you learn chess, is through chess books like that. I'm not really sure how the newer generation learns chess, but I don't think it's like that anymore. I think it's probably a lot of like online stuff, right? Computer stuff. But and also too, he's kind of like me, where he has a lot of different interests, right? So a lot of his other videos were like philosophy and religion and like nature and, you know, wood carving or cooking, outdoor cooking, or giving tutorials on math, like algebra, or, you know, graphs, you know, linear equations on graphs and all that stuff, right? Which is kind of interesting. But it's weird because I noticed that the last YouTube video that he posted on his channel was 5 years ago. So 5 years ago is a very long time to not post something on your social media, but even more so when you're someone who posts a lot, right? So like if you tend to like go to his channel and read comments to figure out like what other people are saying. And there were so many people that were saying that he had died. Like, that was a huge rumor that people repeatedly said over the last 5 years that he died or he took a stroke. And people were saying that they read his obituary, or that his nephew like confirmed it, or they went to his chess club, his local chess club, and they confirmed it and stuff. But then people were countering it, and they were saying that they somehow found his wife's Facebook page. I don't know how they found that. And on it, like, she was posting like regular like pictures of him and videos of him and stuff, or they found him like posting on religious discussion boards with like a hidden name or whatever. But unfortunately, that is the truth, where like a lot of the times when like people just suddenly don't post anymore, which is very kind of strange, is a lot of the times it is because something happened to them, like they passed away, right? So I kind of felt bad because I had just like run into his channel like 2 days ago, and unfortunately like he hadn't posted a video in 5 years. So I mean, watching videos that are old are okay, but it's nothing like watching videos that are current, right? Because you want to watch videos that are to the moment, that are happening now, that are relevant to the day, right? And so for some reason, I normally would not subscribe to someone's YouTube channel like that, because like I was almost positive that he would not post again ever, because I thought maybe he had passed away or something happened where, you know, sometimes people just don't post anymore. And I thought that for sure that he was one of those people who wouldn't post anymore ever. And so like I would never like subscribe to someone's YouTube channel who wasn't posting anymore, because it's just a waste of my like subscription list. It's a waste of that list, right? But for some reason I decided to subscribe to his channel, and I turn on the notifications, and so one day goes by, and like I'm just like I'm just on YouTube, just browsing, just minding, just having fun. Boof, what do I get? A notification, and this notification says that he actually just posted a video. And it was just crazy, right? I couldn't believe it. And in the beginning, I kind of thought that maybe it was somebody else other than him, because sometimes that's what people do, is like people take over a deceased person's account and then they post, right? But I watched the video, and he was like, oh well, like I'm back, I heard that people are saying I'm dead, and he's like, this is a resurrection video maybe, or he was joking about it, and he's like, I'm gonna keep making like all these videos, chess videos, and all the other types of videos that he was doing and stuff. And yeah, it was just kind of like neat to see that. And I guess like a couple hours later he did post another video, and it was a chess video, which I haven't watched yet, right? So yeah, so I'm kind of happy that at least I have like new videos to watch, because it's a pretty cool channel. So I just wanted to share that story, because I just thought it was really funny, right? Or kind of like cool. And his like I said, he has a YouTube channel, and his screen name is TheBackyardProfessor. Again, his screen name is TheBackyardProfessor. So if anyone's interested, you can check that out, right? So I just want to wrap this up and say thanks thank you so much for watching this YouTube video. Thanks a lot for watching all my YouTube videos. And it's important for people to subscribe, right? Because views are great, but I base things on the amount of subscribers that I have, because those are the people who are really going to watch the videos, right? So, and that subscriber list has to be going up on a regular basis. So, if I see that subscriber list going up, it's going to motivate me and give me a purpose to keep making videos, right? So whether they're more chess videos or more like sport videos or video blogs or whatever, you can leave comments under the video and tell me what kind of videos you want to see, right? But you can get your friends and families to subscribe, share, or whatever, right? But yeah, I sort of have to see the numbers in order for myself to motivate myself to have a purpose to keep making videos, right? All right then. Peace out.